Solve equations by combining like terms. It sounds bad, but it's pretty much what we were doing before. It was like multi-step equations, and then we're just combining like terms. Okay, so one of the best ways to solve equations is by combining like terms. And then if you don't remember, like terms are terms whose variables are the same, right? So that means like they have the same letters. Okay, so we combine like terms back in 4.2. So if you forgot, feel free to watch that video again. Okay, so let's do one example together. So we have 2a plus 3b minus 4a minus 7b. So right now we're not solving for anything. There's no equal sign. We're just combining. So we have to look for things with the same letters. So these both have a's, and these both have b's. And you have to be careful with the negatives. It's always like, the negative's always like in front of the term, right? So this is 2a minus 4a, so we have negative 2a. And then the b's, we have 3b minus 7b, which is negative 4b. So if you don't like the colors, we have negative 2a minus 4b. So we just simplified that. We combine like terms. For this one, example 2, we have two different types again. We have the x's, and then we have something without any variable at all, right? Just our numbers. So don't forget that you can combine those two. Sometimes people forget. So we start with our x's. We have negative, don't forget this negative. Negative 3x plus x is negative 2x. And then we have a negative 19 plus 19, which actually is 0. In our final answer, though, we don't really need to write 0, so it would just be negative 2x. Okay, so I want you to try example 3 and example 4 on your own, and then we will come back together and check as a class. All right, so for example 3, I saw some good answers. So we have the y's. If you don't have other colors, sometimes you can like circle them or line them. So we have y minus 5y is negative 4y. And then we have a negative 12 plus 43 is plus 31. And then over here, for example 4, I'm going to do lines. So w gets a line and g gets 2 lines. So negative 2w plus 2w is 0w. 7g minus 7g is 0g. So it's really just 0. So that was like a bit of a trick question, which a lot of you guys got. Okay, so now instead of just combining like terms, we're doing that plus solving. So it seems icky, but it's not that bad. Okay, so let's look at example 4. So now we have this equal sign, so we're going to draw our line in the middle. If you like that method, I like it. We're going to combine our 4x and our 3x to get 7x plus 5 on the left side. And now we're back to solving. So this is just like 5.2 and 5.3. So we're trying to get x by itself. So we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. We get 7x equals 21. And then we divide by 7. And we get x equals 3. All right, so this is just like before, but we just had that one extra step of combining like terms before we started. Okay, let's look at example 6. So example 6, we have our equal sign. So now we're combining the d's. So we have 2d plus 6d is 8d. So 6 plus 8d equals 18. Everything else is the same. And now we're back to solving. So we want to know what d equals. So we're going to subtract 6 from both sides. We get 8d equals 12. Then we divide both by 8. I can see already here I'm going to get a fraction, so don't let that scare you. D equals 12 over 8, but we want to simplify that. They're both divisible by 4, so we get D equals 3 over 2. All right, so these you're going to do yourself, and you got to pause the video and come back. All right, so for this one's a little trickier because we're combining like our numbers, not like a letter. So we have negative 15 on the left side, and this becomes negative 3 minus 4h. This one's also tricky because there's like lots of negatives, right? So we're going to add 3 to both sides. We get negative 12 equals negative 4h, and then we divide by negative 4. we get h equals 3. There's one other way you can solve this that I'm going to show you. So instead of combining these, you could have just moved them over individually. So negative 15 equals 5 minus 8 minus 4h. So I could have moved the 5 over. I get negative 20. And then I could have moved the 8 in a separate step. So I get negative 12 equals negative 4. And then I'm back to the same solution. So sometimes there's a few different ways to solve things, but you'll get the same answer in the end. And remember, you can always go back and check. So I guess we should have done that. All right, if we plug this back in, it should equal negative 15. All right, one more on this front page, and then we're almost done. So here we're doing 2 combining. We're combining our constants without letters, and we're combining our y's. So we have 10 minus y equals negative 10. We subtract 10 from both sides. Don't forget that since this is there's nothing there, so that's positive, so we have to subtract it. So we get negative y equals negative 20, and then this one also confuses people. We divide by negative 1, so we get y equals 20. All right, one more problem on the back, and then we're done with the notes. So this is a word problem. We love word problems. Find each side if the perimeter is 26. So the perimeter we know is like adding up all the sides. This is like a vocab word from, I don't know, grade school or geometry. So think of it like people sometimes say it's like a fence, right? If I was trying to buy the fence, I'd have to like add up all that fencing. Okay, so in a rectangle, we should know that the opposite sides are equal. So this is also x, and then up here is also x plus 3. And then we're going to add them all up. So x plus 3 plus x plus another x plus 3. So these are all the sides, and that equals our perimeter, which they said was 26. So because this lesson is combining like terms, we're going to combine all of our x's. And then we're going to combine those 3. So we get 4x plus 6 equals 26. And now we go back to our favorite. We're solving. Subtract 6 from both sides. 4x equals 20. Then divide by 4. X equals 5. One thing about this problem that's tricky is it says find each side. So even though we found x, we are not done. We need to find this side right here. So x plus 3, so 5 plus 3 is 8. So our answer is 5 and 8, not just 5. Because we have to find both sides. Okay, and that is it for our notes. We just had to practice. Sorry I got cut off down here at the bottom. Oh yeah, I got printed really bad. But the answers are on the back, so good luck.